welcoming a very special guest on stage. If I could please invite Mr. Gaurav Gupta, IAS Additional Chief Secretary, Energy Department, Government of Karnataka, to join us on stage for a very special fireside chat with our colleague Deepti Sachdeva from the Times Network. So welcome.
And Deepti, with that, the floor is yours. Over to you. Take it away, Deepti.
Hi, good afternoon. So I told Gaurav you can choose the right side, and he decided to go left. So when it comes to bureaucrats, a lot of them give you these ideas, answers in a lot of these innuendos. But kudos to all the work, Gaurav, that all of you've been doing. I think there is a Karnataka model that we talk about when it comes to news of Siddaramaiah and a lot of these guarantees. But what is your Karnataka model all about?
Hi, hello. Karnataka model is about sustainable model, and I think Karnataka is a state which excels in sustainability. Sustainability across communities, sustainability across water, sustainability across electricity, energy, and I think that's what Karnataka is known for, living in harmony with each other, with the environment, with the land and water around you. I think that's what defines Karnataka.
So if Karnataka can do this, why can't other states? I mean, what is it that Karnataka has that you've been able to achieve so much? Is it because of the people there? Is it because of the conditions? Is it because of the polity? Is it about the bureaucracy? Whose idea is all this?
I think it's basically knowing your environment, knowing people around you, knowing nature around you, and living in harmony with them. And that's what I think is the end goal. Long time back, I think our rishis and munis, etc., they have also tried to live in harmony with the nature. And that's what people in Karnataka have been doing, how to harness the water, say for example, or electricity in a sustainable manner without affecting nature, and yet able to meet their own requirements. Or say for example food, how do you exploit the soil or the water in order to have food products. So there are very many things which when you come to Karnataka, be there, then you realize that whether it is the hospitality sector or whether it is the health sector or whether it is the electricity sector, it's all about living in a harmonious and sustainable manner.
I think harmony is the key word that you've used multiple times. So let's look at facts now. I was reading through this that the state's journey towards clean energy actually started way back. This is in 1902, where you had this hydroelectric power generation station that was set up. Then you had a 2,000 megawatt solar power plant in Tumkur in 2018. And this, we must tell our viewers, is the world's second largest solar park. Now you've also, become the largest market for solar power. So clearly there is a lot that Karnataka is doing when it comes to the future, innovations and strategies. If I give you a minute to sum up what has Karnataka achieved till now, what would you say to us?
Yes, Karnataka, we were the first ones in the country to set up hydroelectricity or any form of electricity in entire India, way back in 1902. When the Shivana Samudra Falls, that is very close to Bangalore, the power was harnessed from there to provide power to Bangalore and also to Kolar goldfields. And since that time, I think Karnataka, because of the progressive leadership of the state, even prior to independence, set up a number of hydroelectricity production plants. And we were perhaps till almost early 70s sustainable in form of only hydroelectricity. We did not require thermal power, etc. But then thereafter, with the more and more energy requirement, we took it up. And when the wind and solar, that is the sustainable non-fossil fuels, etc., they came up. So then we started harnessing them. And I think the acme or the pinnacle of that was setting up of the Pavgada solar power plant, 2000 megawatt at one single location, which 6 years back was, I think, quite a feat. It was the world's largest at that point of time.
Okay, and you know, Gaurav, in the audience, I'm sure there are a lot of people who might not be very familiar with the numbers, the lingo that is essentially used when you talk of, you know, the consumption, the production, and a lot of other things. So in simpler terms, you know, if we have to tell the audience that in a state like Karnataka, that clearly is not just very ambitious, it's also very aggressive when it comes to a lot of these policies that you've adapted to in the last many, many years. What is it that sets Karnataka apart from a lot of other states?
One of the things which I have not talked about is about the scientific temper of the people and how that is deeply inculcated in the psyche of the people itself. So adoption of new technologies and also, harnessing any kind of new opportunities, etc., comes very naturally to Karnataka. So if we are talking about solar, if we are talking about wind, if we are talking about, I can talk about, say, for example, it may be biotechnology or artificial intelligence or anything like that. So we are basically working on several of the issues, and we are in touch, close touch with the scientific community, with the leaders, industry leaders, and all. When we formulate a policy, and I am in the government, so I am talking about the government works very closely with the industry and the scientific community to ensure that we are able to, make the best use of what is scientifically and technologically possible. And that's how we have now started working on storage solutions, because we know that we can use more and more renewable energy, and we can have a complete transition from thermal energy or coal-based energy to wind and solar energy, provided we have proper storage solutions. So in the coming years, we would like to see more and more transition and less dependability on coal-based power. And for that, we are working on storage solutions, which I will talk to you later if need be. But that is the key, and that's what we have been sharing at the national level when we talk with the national government and also with other states to see that how each one of us can progress in energy transition towards a fossil-free energy systems for the country of ours.
Okay, you know, Gaurav, this is a political question. Is there really a north versus south divide when it comes to how people deal with climate change, realize that the danger is real, and perhaps find solutions to it?
I won't say that. I won't say that we are reacting to any kind of threat. In fact, very often the India climate kind of seminars and workshops and summits start from a threat which is impending on us. So in Karnataka, we do not. We are not reacting to a threat. We are saying that, look here, the way together, the way in the future is way together, and way in everybody working together, and in sustainability with the nature, and that's the reason why we have taken it up. And let me assure you, more than 40 to 50% of power generation in the state right now is non-fossil fuel based. And I'm not talking just about the installed capacity, I'm talking also about the actual generation. There are days in which I need to bank down my thermal power stations because we have so much of solar and wind generation. And that's what other states also need to do, and they have been working at it. I think slowly we need to see how we can reduce the carbon usage and lead to a sustainable country and sustainable planet.
So, Gaurav, you've conveniently ducked my question of the north versus south divide. So, you know, but still, we'll push that point a little further, because you are, you know, someone who makes these policies, gets a lot of these policies implemented, there are a lot of people concerns about, our government's also very reactive. Do they go into damage control very soon? Now, considering Karnataka, again, Bengaluru is a silicon city. You've seen a lot of stories coming out of how civic infrastructure is crumbling, trees are being fell off, buildings are being constructed. A lot of those things are real issues. And that again is a part of a larger conversation on climate change, and not just in Karnataka. I think elsewhere. You look at Delhi today, Delhi is also in a mess. And when you look at who's accountable, we get no answers, Gaurav. But when you talk of green buildings, a lot of stuff that you've done, why is it that we are still lacking in our efforts to check all this? Why is there still so much of discontent? And why do people sitting at that chair never listen to the people?
No, I would say that it all depends on people and people aware about the surroundings, about their own surroundings. If you go to Singapore, for example, Singapore people are, they talk, the government talks to the people and tells them, look here, where does the water come from? Where does my power come from? Okay, where do my food products come from? And each one of the Singaporeans know about it. I was in Singapore, and one of the taxi drivers, he told me from where does the water come in Singapore. It comes from Johor, it comes from rainwater, it comes from desalination, it comes from recycling water. And this was talked to me by a taxi driver. And that's what needs to be done here as well. Our people need to know where does the water come from. We have seen Delhi water crisis, and people will say, oh, somebody has stopped water to Delhi. Or
saying that there is a crisis of water in Delhi?
No. I'm saying that the citizens need to know where does the water come from. And so therefore they can plan for, they understand the constraints, and then make a judicious choice to use less water or more efficient water. And likewise, when they know about say for example, where does the energy come from, they can make a conscious choice to use less energy, or have more energy efficient appliances. So the thing is that we need to talk at the leaders level, at the government level. We need to talk, and we have been talking with people about different issues which are around them, and so that they can make consciously better choices.
I want to push that point a little further, then we'll talk of your green energy corridor. Do the policymakers believe that the onus is just on the people? It's only on the citizens. Use less water, do this, do that. But why do we elect governments if governments are not accountable, Gaurav?
No, I should not appear that way. The issue is whether we use more resources or less resources has to be a choice. One. Number two is, if you want to harness more resources, obviously the government will provide for it and does provide for it. For example, every 5 years or 7 years, the electricity production has to double, and we are providing for it in the state of Karnataka as well as in the country level as well. Or if our cities grow, we need to provide for more housing, we need to provide for more roads, we need to provide for more airports or better transportation, and the governments have been providing to that. Not at all. The governments do not shirk and cannot shirk from their responsibility of providing more and more the facilities. But what I'm saying is that the citizens need to know that if you are consuming more, that energy needs to come from somewhere. And that energy will come from thermal sources as well if your renewable sources are not very well developed. And likewise, if you are consuming more water, the water will have to come from somewhere. So you have to make a conscious call for that. And yes, the governments are taking decisions on this nature. And let me confine myself to the energy transition. I think energy transition is real. Energy transition is happening. It is happening in sync with what is happening in the world. Let's not talk only about India. Let's talk about Germany. Let's talk about Japan. Let's talk about US. Every state, every country is looking at energy transition. California, for example, has taken on, Texas, for example, which is known for oil and gas, has taken on a lot of wind and solar generation. And together with that, you need to have storage. And these solutions have been found there. Germany, France, and Britain, they have been also talking about how they can lessen their power generation from fossil fuels. So we have been working with them. We have been collaborating with them to see how this can be taken forward.
My timer tells me that our time's up, Gaurav, but as promised, I have to ask you, what does Karnataka have that the other states don't have? And what is the big national picture? You know, that people and states can learn from Karnataka. I can just give you 2 minutes, because I'm already getting indications. Our guests are waiting, and so are the next panelists.
Yeah, I would say that I have already told that Karnataka offers a sustainable future in each of the activities it does. And also global integration. There is, when we are talking about Bangalore and the global capability centers that have been set up in Bangalore by most of the majors in the world. So we are trying to find solutions not only for Bangalore or Karnataka or for India, but for the world. And I am very happy when I see engineers from Bangalore traveling to Europe, traveling to US, and trying to find solutions for those countries. And they are doing it in Bangalore. And that's what makes us be very proud of what we have.
So let's have a huge round of applause for Gaurav. It's rarely you get bureaucrats as candid as this. He was stuck in this chair. He had to answer a few political tough questions, but he did a good job. Thank you, Gaurav, for your time.
All right, thank you for those insights. Deepti as well, asking you to present, sir, when it comes to this plantation certificate, so he can track the location and the status of the 10 trees that have been planted in his name, and more importantly, also to look exactly when it comes to the details of the trees that have been planted. Ladies and gentlemen, all of the speakers here today on stage have multiple trees that have been planted in their names.
And in their honor. Well, I believe you've all worked up an appetite, ladies and gentlemen, but before we break for lunch, we'd like to remind you to take a moment to check out the Earth installation right outside, because it's a beautifully mirrored sphere that showcases the powerful images of climate change disasters affecting India and all of us, reminding us that the crisis is relevant to us all.